Hey guys, it's Gerald here. In this video, I'm going to go over United Healthcare Group. In this video, I'm going to go over whether I think the stock is a buy, a hold, a sell. I'll touch into the valuation thesis for the stock if there's any, the technicals, as well as if insiders, whale data, dark pool data has been showing up for the stock here. Before I begin for this video, I would appreciate you guys to leave a like, a comment, a subscribe. One of my big goals this year is to really push further with YouTube, reach a bigger audience, and that like, comment, and subscribe is going to go a long way. So I'd appreciate if you guys can leave that for me here. All right, so with no further ado, let's go over United Healthcare. United Healthcare, of course, is a healthcare giant trading right now at a massive discount in relation to whether it's the intrinsic value, whether it's to analyst targets, right? So right now it's currently sitting roughly around 336.4. We have analysts targeting about 385. So over 23 to even 30% upside for the stock here. Of course, we had the great Warren Buffett, by the way, he just recently retired. So huge shout out to Warren Buffett. He's been an inspiration to many people, myself included, in how I've been able to progress with my portfolio. But yeah, we had Warren Buffett start a massive position with United Healthcare stock, and with good reason, right? This is a blue chip company with strong cash flows, as well as a dividend for the stock, as well as a lot of tailwinds coming in for the future here. So why United Healthcare in the first place? Much of the stock market is trading at very elevated valuations right now. I'm looking for a more beaten down defensive stock. So United Healthcare being one of them, right? In a world where there's talk of decreased consumer spending, United Healthcare is going to be a good sort of hedge against that, right? We had, of course, recent analyst upgrades with Wolf Research with a 375 price target, Wells Fargo 400, and Jefferies at 409. Overall, much of the average targets are sitting roughly around 385, so significantly higher from today's valuations. So the investment thesis for United Healthcare, it has to do with a lot of its diversified moat, right? United Healthcare for its insurance, the Optum for its high growth services, the tech, the pharmacy. We are in an ever-aging population with people growing older and older and older and living longer and longer and longer. This is the United States' biggest healthcare insurer. Much of the discount that's been factored into the stock had to do with its recent Medicare ratio spike. So a lot of that with the upcoming new year, the raising of the premiums is likely going to raise the outlook for the company in the future here. So in terms of its valuation thesis, sitting roughly around 336, forward price to earnings is sitting anywhere between 12 to 18, when historically it trades roughly around 22, right? And the S&P 500 is sitting at 30 plus, right? So this is that, like I said, that good hedge against the market, while also boasting about a 2 to 3% dividend yield here. So looking at the intrinsic value using Market Dash, I see an intrinsic value sitting roughly around 30%. So that's at the cusp of where I like to enter into positions, right? I look for about a 20 to 30% margin of safety. When stocks are trading significantly below that, that's where I like to look at, because it, like I said, these assumptions are able to be easier met, right? If they're incorrectly calculated, or for some reason there is less free cash flow or profits coming into the future, I understand I'm still going to be able to profit because of that margin of safety in the stock here. In the DCF value, it seems like it's sitting roughly around 353 with a relative value of 607. Averaging those two, it comes down roughly around 480, which creates a big margin of safety here. Of course, for hedge funds and institutions, it's been a big add in addition for a lot of big people. One notably was with Warren Buffett here. I can see here through the hedge funds, I see Bill Duhamel increase the position by 8%. It's about 7% of his portfolio with about 175 million. We have Boykin Curry with 1.9 billion, increase his position by roughly about 1%. Dodge and Cox increased by about 9%. Having a $3.3 billion position into United Healthcare here. Chris Davies, one of the best value investors of our time here, also increased his position roughly around 0.5% with a portfolio value of about 400 million into the position here. So overall, hedge funds are positioned for this stock here, and I will touch into the dark pool in a couple moments as well. Analyst price targets, we have an average analyst price target of around 383, highs of 440. We do have some low target of 198. Highly doubt it gets into that area, but yeah, literally just one sell out of a cumulative consensus buy of 16 buys and 5 holds here. Of course, for insider activity, past 6 to 9 months, we did see a lot of insider buying, significant buying by Stephen Hemsley, the CEO of UnitedHealth Group, bought $25 million of the stock. Kirsten Gill, $1 million. Timothy Flynn, $500,000. Like I said, for insider activity, insiders could sell for many different reasons, but there's only one reason that insiders buy, and that's because they think that the stock is undervalued. So that's very good for me to see. Of course, in the last 3 to 6 months, there's been no insider buys, but the stock is still sitting roughly around where these insiders just bought into the position. Looking at some of its valuations, once again, stock's trading at a trailing PE of 17 when its median is about 24, still significantly below its median, as well as when I'm comparing it to the industry. Share buybacks, looks like the company's is reducing its share count. That's where I'll leave us into the technicals for United Healthcare here. So for United Healthcare, looks like the stock capitulated and ultimately got to the 200 moving average, found some rejection around the 200 moving average. I think we had a rejection and it got towards the 50% retracement, and now the stock is making its move up here. Short term looks bullish. We had a recent break of the 50 simple moving average. We're sitting right in resistance now. If the stock can overcome this major resistance around the 200 simple moving average, roughly around 343.85, this is a big area for it to hit. That's going to lead blue skies towards 376, which is a massive 9% upside from current valuations here, current price action. Looking at the dark pool data, I'm seeing an overwhelming bullish flow into the company here. 82% bullish compared to 18% bearish. We have 48 prints compared to 12 prints that are bearish. Looking at the past 7 to 14 days, it looks like it's a very aggressive buy at 40 million, sitting around 324. We had some lower aggressive buys, but heavy allocations, $191 million buy 9 days ago, 50 million, 70 million. So overall, I'm seeing a very, very heavy print, a bullish print for United Healthcare stock here. When I'm looking at the stock's MACD, it looks like we're crossing over to bullish. So a lot of bullish momentum is able to likely come and ensue if we can get that confluence of overcoming this major resistance roughly around the 200 simple moving average, which, like I said, will leave us towards blue skies, towards higher and higher highs here. So overall, that is my breakdown of United Healthcare. Once again, if you guys can leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, it's really gonna help me push forward. And like I said, if you guys have any other stocks you guys want me to analyze or pretty much break down, there's dark pool data that I can go through as well for you guys. Just shoot them down in the comments below.